Hello friends, welcome back to part 4 of our series on paradox. I'm Sanyukta Saxena, a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we are going to take our journey a little further, draw another tile using the pattern paradox. I'm just trying to demonstrate to you that how you can use the same tangle in different ways just by changing the arrangement, right? So let's start with our Zentangle tile today, as I talked about in the last session. So I have just drawn a square, right, using my markers, and I'm going to ink the square and use my paradox as a fragment on this tile, right? So I have my O8 here because I want these lines to be thick, and I'm starting to draw my paradox, right? So I'm going to draw some thick sections, not draw lines which are very close to each other as in paradox, and use those sections as fragments, as a grid, or use my paradox as a reticula and draw some patterns inside it. So you can see I have drawn the first 4 lines at quite a distance so that I can use these sections to draw different patterns. So basically using my paradox as a grid or a reticula. Just to add some fun, I'm going to introduce a few orbs here and there randomly inside, and then do the same exercise, right? So now I'm not going to cut the orb. Drawing the third section, then drawing the fourth, right? Drawing the fifth, big ones, and then the last one, and finish it like this, right? So this is my paradox, and I'm going to use each of these sections as spaces to fill up patterns, right? So let me first outline, add an inner aura inside the first section, right? So I am adding an inner aura, or separating the section inside so that my pattern inside does not mingle with my outside aura, right? So now what do you want to put inside? Absolutely up to you. I'm going to put in some mukas to start with. Muka arranged in this fashion, generally called the pattern elegant. Drawing behind at places, filling up this with some flux. Right, some orbs here, fill up the small little spaces left, like this, right? So some intricate work here. Take your time, don't be in a hurry, right? Right, so I will do the same exercise. I'll show you one more. Right, and then some flux here. Right, and some tipples here. Right, and then ink the rest of the portion. So you can see I have completed that exercise in all the 4 sections, and I've also added an inner aura to the second sections, right? So in the second one I'm just going to go with plain printums. So Printum comes pretty handy as a filler tangle. Small spaces, so take your time. Right, so I'm drawing the pattern printums. Working small. Right, so I'll do the same in all the 4 sections. So I'm on my 3rd section now. Added an inner aura as I had done in the previous ones. So started with the pattern Bunzo here, a little drama to the tile, right? So Bunzo has some bold ink portions, so it adds a lot of drama to the tile. So continuing to add these C shapes. I'm going to leave the orbs as they are, not going to touch them. Adding a little fun factor to my tile. Right. Right. So I'll do the same exercise on all the 4 sections. So I have done the same exercise in all the 4 sections. I have put the pattern Bunzo, right, and then the rest of the sections again the same auraing inside, and then I'm going to just add a simple pattern, 3 orbs, 3 lines, again 3 orbs, 3 lines, again 3 orbs, and some lines, right? Just make sure you fill in the small spaces in between. So very simple pattern to draw, alternating orbs and lines, right? So 3 orbs, 3 lines, again 3 orbs, again 3 lines, right? So whatever space you have, you can make it 2 and 2 also, you can make 3 and 3 also. I'm not touching the bigger orbs. Right, and then the rest of the sections, whatever you wish to, there's so many patterns, right? So I think we'll just go with simple fragment here. Right, and then the remaining smaller ones, right? These small inkings add a lot of give a lot of lift to the tile. You can see the difference in your tile, if they are inked, if they are not inked. These inked portions really add value. So take your time and do it, right? Small little portions that are left in between. Right, so that's about it, I think, and now we can move on to, I'm not touching the last 3 sections. I think it would be nice if I leave them empty like that, right? So the rest of the portion, it is up to you, what do you want to do, right? You can divide it into sections and draw paradox inside them, since we are learning the pattern paradox. So why not dedicate the tile to paradox only, right? I'll show you one section. So I'll draw paradox inside. Right, again in this section, using the same principle, giving a slight curve to the line wherever there is curve, again going anti-clockwise. So you can draw the way you want to, clockwise, anti-clockwise, as I explained to you earlier. It's just the direction of the fans that change when you draw clockwise and anti-clockwise, and you vary the look of the pattern. You create different meta patterns just by manipulating your direction in which you start drawing the lines, right? The rest of the process is the same. Right, and then the fourth one. Right, so this is how I am going to do all the 4 sections. So you can see here I have done the same exercise on all the 4 sides and filled up my tile, right? If you want, you can choose some other pattern also. So I am now going to first add a thick graphite to separate my outermost aura from the rest of the tile. Right. So adding some thick graphite to the outermost aura and separating it from the rest. And then some graphite on the inside, on both the sides, just a touch, not much spaces here, so just ensure a light touch. Again, you can fill in the small little spaces that are left in between your printums, or you may just leave them as it is. Right, so adding some graphite on both sides, doing the same exercise for all. Do the same for Bunzo also. Adding graphite on both sides. Then the 3s and 3s. You can add something inside these orbs also, the orbs of the 3s and 3s, or you can keep it simple like this. They look nice both ways. And then some here. Right, there's some inking left here. Yeah, so start blending. We'll first blend the outer. with a light hand, just smudge the graphite. This graphite was just to separate your center paradox from the rest of the tile. Right, and then with a gentle hand, without making the entire section gray, just touch the inner spaces where you have put the graphite. Don't spread too much. Then the next one. And the next one. And the fourth one. Right, then on both sides of Bunzo. Bunzo takes time to dry up, so make sure the ink is not wet. Right, and then inside. Just a touch. Leave a highlight. Right, and then I'll pick up my white charcoal and add some highlight in between to all. Right, then Bunzo already has a highlight, just going to re-emphasize it. Right, little bit on these. Yeah, a little touch of shading on these orbs, not much. Right, and then if you want, you can add some graphite to the outer border. Right, blend it a little and your tile is done, right? So take a moment to appreciate your work, your tile, such a beautiful piece of art that you have created with a pattern, right? So I'm now going to initial my tile. I need to find a place, probably here, right, and sign and date it. So we'll meet again with a new tangle, a Zentangle original next time, right? And till then, take care, stay safe, bye bye.